Hello everyone. I received a lot of questions about how to create a group booking for Carnival. So today I'm going to show you all how to do that. I'm also going to show you where to locate your travel agent rates. Okay. The first thing you want to do is log into GoCCL.com. That's the back office or the back portal for Carnival. So you would not go to Carnival.com. You would go to GoCCL.com. If you haven't registered, please do so because this is one of the most frequently used vendors. Okay? So I'm logging in here. As you can see, it's clear as day. Log in. If you need to register, you would go here to register. Make sure that you use Extreme Travel's information when you register. Do not enter vacation travel. You need to place Extreme Travel under the agency's name and also use the IATA number and the company's address as well as the company's phone number. The phone number starts with 214. I'm not going to give all the information on this video, but go in your back office, click on Travel, and then click on Vendor List, and the information will be on that screen. Okay, let's go. So I'm going to click on Login. Alrighty, so once you log in, you're now in the back, on the back side of GoCCL.com. In this section here, where you see Featured Specials, to see the travel agent rates, which is referred to as PTA with Carnival, you would click here under Last Minute Rates for Travel Professionals. Once you click on that, a PDF file will open up. Now the travel agent rates, they're preset cruises. It's not a situation where you can just call and say, hey, I want to get on this ship. How much is your travel agent rate? No. They already have certain ships that they're offering PTA rates for. So you would need to just go through the list and see which one you would like to book. So starting here, as you can see, it's a lot of 7 days. You have 2, 3, 4 days, but this will show you where it's porting out of. So this is Long Beach. This one here is out of Tampa, 7 days. 7 days on a Carnival Dream. I mean, the prices are amazing. A 7-day cruise at retail is going to cost you about $800-900 per person. So here is one right here, right at Valentine's Day, 7 days. And honestly, y'all, this is the one I was trying to get, but unfortunately, my husband can't get the day off. But anyway, the week off. But it's a 7-day cruise on a beautiful Dream ship, leaving on February 15th, and it's only $170 for the interior cabin. Now that doesn't include your taxes and port charges, so you might as well just tack on another $100, and it may end up being about $270, but you're saving roughly $500. And again, that rate applies to anyone that's in your cabin. Okay, so if you're taking a couple friends with you, or you're just taking your significant other, that rate is transferable to them as well, as long as they're in the same cabin. Okay, so here are your rates, and there are only a few left. At the beginning of the month, there were several in here, especially leaving out of Florida. There were quite a few 3 and 4 day cruises, but travel agents jump on these quick, so you want to keep going in. They update this list every day, so once the ship is full, they come off. So if I remember, once we get through the tutorial, I'll go in and show you how you can actually reserve these. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this up so I can remember to go back. Alrighty, so let's go back to GoCCL. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is put together a group booking. So you want to click on Group Booking. Carnival is one of the easiest travel portals that you'll use. So click on Group Booking. Alrighty, so let's just say we want to go somewhere in August. You're just going to filter, and we're choosing August 1st, 2015. The to date is automatically going to jump out 30 days. So your window will be 30 days. So if your client says, hey, I want to go on a cruise in August, I'm really flexible with the dates, then you're perfect. Just set it from the 1st through the 30th. If they're like, okay, I have to go on the 15th, then you can narrow down your search a little more. Okay? But if they're pretty open, you can leave this range open. Your duration. If your client states, I want a cruise that's at least 3 days, but no more than 5 days, then you can go ahead and change your duration. It's automatically going to start at 3, and it's up to 15 days. So I'm going to narrow this down, let's just say to 5 days. Group type, I always keep on open promotion so that I can see all promotions that are available. Now we can narrow it down to ship, destination, as well as port. The destination, if they're stating they want to go to the Caribbean, or if they have a specific ship in mind, then you can narrow down your search here. But for the sake of training, I'm going to narrow it down to destination. I'm just going to choose Caribbean. And as you can see, it's going to now change the view of the ship so we can only see the ones that actually go to the Caribbean. So let's say your client states they want to port out of Miami. Now the ship selection is going to update to only the ships that port out of Miami. Okay? So I'm going to open this back up so we can see it all. Alrighty. So where there's a red asterisk, you must complete the field. As you can see, we can leave departure port open because there isn't a red asterisk here. Okay, and it must be at least 8 staterooms is required for a group booking. So if you have a client that says, I need 4 cabins, you have to do it under individual, book each one individually, or you can refer them to your website and they can book it themselves. But if they need more, if they need 8 or more, then that's considered a group booking, and you would have to go through this process here. Alrighty, so let's click on search. Okay, so now we have a list of all the cruises within our range that are 3 to 5 days. And as you can see, it's showing us all the departure ports. Now, some of you are probably asking, why is July in the range? For some reason, it always goes back a day or two, I guess, to pull in some of those departures that might kind of roll over into August. But it's still good to see it as well. So if it happens to be cheaper, you can run that by your client. It's no big deal. Okay, so here you have the ship name. If you click on the ship, it will give you information about the ship. Destination, you click on it, it will give you the itinerary. You click on Western Caribbean, the same thing. So if your client is trying to go to a specific place, you can narrow it down to Western, Eastern, Southern Caribbean, or just Bahamas. But I left it open and I put Caribbean, so that's why we have so many options. This is when the boat actually sails. This is how many days. This is the departure port. And if you see go to booking, that means that other travel agents within Extreme Travel have bookings on these particular ships, on these particular sail dates. If it says no, then that means that no one has any bookings yet. This is really important because if you create another group booking, it's fine. But sometimes you'll get an error message, and basically what that is no more than 4 travel agents per agency can have a group booking. Once you reach 4, then you have to reach out to one of those agents to see if they will allow you to share that booking with them. I wouldn't recommend sharing bookings, but I would just recommend finding one that isn't booked already, or try to select it to see if less than 4 agents have booked the trip. Okay, so let's scroll on down. Fun points, amenity points, I'll cover that once we create the booking. Here, this will give you the average rate amount. So let's see, August. Let's shoot for this one right here, the Victory. Leave it on August 8th, 5 days out of Miami. There are no group bookings, and the average rate is $529. So let's select that one. Okay, now before you start, what you need to do is come up with a group name. I like to place my client's name there to make it a lot easier to search for it later. But for the sake of training, I'm going to put Team on a Mission there. It looks like I named one that before, so I'm not sure if it's going to take it, but we'll see. Okay, now at the bottom here, this shows you how many cabins you can lock in. I can lock in 50 cabins on this particular trip. Okay, now here is the category type. So it's important to know your client before you start booking. Someone will tell you from the beginning, we want the cheapest interior cabins you can find. We want all interiors. Some may say, no, I've experienced a balcony one time and I'm balcony for life. So give us all balconies. So you want to ask your client what type of cabin or category type they would like. You can also book a little of all of them if they're not sure, so they can give the families the information and allow them to make a decision. Okay, so for the sake of training, I'm just going to grab 2 of each one. I'll do 2 interiors, and the alphabets here, that's just a level on the ship. So the higher the letter, the higher they are on the ship. So I'm just going to choose 2 of each one, no rhyme or reason. 2 ocean views, and I'm going to do 2 balconies. Okay? This commission percent, that's the percentage that Carnival is going to pay Extreme Travel. Carnival is going to pay Extreme Travel 16% of the commissionable amount. So if that's $1,000 going to Extreme Travel is going to give you 75% of that, which is awesome. So I love group cruises. Carnival pays out a high percentage. 16% is really good. And we get 75% of the commission paid to our agency. Okay. So all I did was lock in 6 cabins. Here you'll see the average lead rate. This is based on double occupancy. Never quote your client the amount that you see here. Okay? This amount does not include the non-commissionable fees. So when you click on it, when you add it all up, it's going to be more than that $529 that you saw. So it's $410 plus $119 plus $108, $16. And as you can see, that's $637.16. But here you see $529. So again, that's the base rate. That does not include the non-commissionable fees. So never quote your client this amount. You always have to click on that hyperlink and add it all up. Alrighty. I'm not sure if I covered that, but the max requests allowed, this tells you, for example, 4C, you can only take 8 cabins. There's only 8 cabins available. 4D only 8, but 4B has 16 available. The Ocean View 6B has 32 available. So it just tells you how many you can take. If for any reason you need more than 50 cabins, It's fine. You can have it increased, but you have to speak with the group sales department before they will increase the number of cabins. Okay, moving on. Triple rate. If there's a third person in the cabin, this is the base rate that they would pay, $299. Quad, $399. Quint, $299. Okay? One thing about group bookings is you cannot reserve a triple, quad, or quint without your client paying the full deposit up front. Once they pay the deposit, then you can go ahead and reserve those cabins. Everyone else that is double occupancy, you can reserve the cabins now and just tell them to, hey, make their down payment by their due date. Okay? So as long as they're all double occupancy, you can lock all these cabins in, schedule payment plans with your client, and you're fine. If it's triple, quad, or quint, anything outside of double occupancy, then the down payment is due up front. Alrighty. Here's the payment date and amount. As you can see, the down payment is only $25. $25 is due by March 23rd, 2015. Now, a little tip to share with you, just from my experience. Never quote your client only $25 and never give them the exact due date. The reason for that is because with a group booking, you're placing all of the money in one pot. Okay? You're not just, there's no way to pay it and say, hey, this goes to Cindy and this goes to Mike. A group booking, all the money is together. So if certain people are not paying, then you're going to end up not having enough to satisfy the down payment amount for your booking. So this $25, I may tell them $75 due by March 15th. And then that way, I'm receiving enough to satisfy 3 people. So every time one person pays $75, it's enough to take care of 3 of my down payments, if that makes sense to you. Plus, by telling them March 15th, that gives me a week for those who are guaranteed to be late every time they need to make a payment. Okay? All right. The VPP is insurance. And let's keep it going. Then we're going to save and continue. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't choose 8 cabins. That's why it's doing it. It has to be at least 8. Okay. Save and continue. Alrighty. Okay. So now, before we confirm, we're just going to go through and make sure we have what we need. Okay, so I have 4 balconies, 2 and 2, 2 ocean views, 2 interiors. My base amount, my non-commissionable rate of $119. I see there. Okay, now here are the guidelines. The guidelines are going to give you the payment schedule, the cancellation guidelines, and the complimentary policy. So we're going to start with the payment guidelines. This is telling you your due date for your down payment, the initial down payment, to hold the cabins. So by March 23rd, you need $25 per person. But again, as I stated earlier, you're going to jack that up so you can get more. So you're going to tell them 50 or 75 per person, and you're going to give them an earlier date. Okay? You need to have a total of $200 by April 10th. This is not 25 plus 200. That 25 is included in that 200. Okay? So if you collected $75 already, then what does that mean? You only need $125 from them by April 10th. Okay, so you can play with this as much as you like, as long as you get all the money in. So if you know you need $200 by April 10th, then you could split it into 2 payments. You could say $100 by March 15th and the other $100 by April 1st. And that way you're giving yourself time to take care of all of this and apply the payments by April 10th. The final payment is due by June 9th. Okay, no exceptions whatsoever. If your booking is not paid by June 9th, then Carnival will cancel the entire booking and they will refund the money back to the client. Okay? And that applies to any of these dates. All right? Cancellation guidelines is just telling you by a certain date how much will be refunded. 50% by that date, 75% full penalty, they get nothing back by that date. Okay? So we're going to click yes here. I'm sorry, I didn't go over the complimentary. Okay. Some of you may already be aware because I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but with Carnival and almost every cruise line, that 8th cabin, as long as you have 15 full fare guests, the 16th person, which will be in that 8th cabin, will go free. So let me repeat that. You get one berth. A berth means one booking or one reservation for 15 full fare guests. Okay? So you have 7 cabins, 2 in each one. So you got your 14 full fare. So in that 8th cabin, you're going to have one person in there that pays their full fare, and then that 16th person is free. If you love to travel, every time you do a group booking, you can go. As long as they have at least 15 full fare guests. Full fare means that based off double occupancy, 2 people in each cabin paid full price. I'm sorry, y'all. My dog is barking.